he doesn't have a power cord for the 360. So he said he wasn't 100% sure if it works. So I asked if he'd throw in a GameCube game that he's not too worried about selling. And so we got Sonic Adventure Battle 2, which this is like $40 or $50, I think. So I'm pretty happy with that. All right, guys, so we are going to pick up some video game stuff. I've got my GoPro on that I just bought. So we're gonna see how this goes with the first pickup with the GoPro on. We're getting a backwards compatible PS3, Pokemon Emerald, the Game Boy Advance, a couple other systems and games for 450 bucks. So the way that I see it is hopefully our backwards compatible PS3 and the Emerald can make up our buy cost of 450. It should be somewhere around there, I hope, and then everything else is going to be profit. So I'm meeting him about 15 minutes from home, so we're going to go grab everything, and we'll get the footage while we're there, and then once we're home, we'll review everything and see what I got and see what we think it's worth. So this isn't going to be a huge profit. I'm going to guess probably like 200 bucks, so spending 450 and making 200, it's not the best, but I mean, it should be a pretty quick flip, I think, based on what's in there. So I'll see you guys then. Hey man, how's it going? Not too bad. I'll look at like some of the discs, make sure they look all right.
I'll try to check everything.
Yeah, I figured. All right, cool. PS3's missing the silver thing on top here, like the yeah. All right, there's 440 if you want to count it out, and I'll start grabbing this. No, I mean, you don't need to. I can handle it for sure. All right, so we picked up everything as you just saw. We paid $440 because the PS3 was missing like the, I don't know if it's black or silver plate that goes on like the left side of the console. Not a huge deal, but it will affect the value a little bit. Not sure if I can get one from a different console and throw it on there. I might do that since this is the backwards compatible one. But we paid $440 for everything. Okay, so we are home and we've got everything on the table here. I'm gonna try and keep this video pretty short because I just wanted it to be a quick pickup video. But we're gonna go through everything that I got for the $440. I think it's probably only gonna be about $200 in profit, as I mentioned, but I'm gonna put comps up for everything as we go through it. And then at the end, I'll put up an estimated profit after shipping and fees. So let's jump into everything that we got. Okay, so here's everything that we got for the $440. Let's start over here on the right with the Wii stuff. So we've got Wii Sports, and I did look at most of the discs and they look to be in really good shape. Even Wii Sports, which I seem to always get Wii Sports that are super scratched up. It's probably just because they don't have a case and a lot of kids play them, but this looks good. Then we also have one GameCube game. So initially, the seller had probably like $500 worth of GameCube stuff that he sent me pictures of, but he said he wanted to keep the majority of it. So the only reason this got thrown in is because he doesn't have a power cord for the 360. So he said he wasn't 100% sure if it works. So I asked if he'd throw in a GameCube game that he's not too worried about selling. And so we got Sonic Adventure Battle 2, which this is like $40 or $50, I think. So I'm pretty happy with that to throw in. If the Xbox 360 works, then that was pretty much just a free throw-in, right? So Super Mario Galaxy, and all of these cases are like new condition almost. So that's really good. Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Monopoly, worst game in the lot. That's just going to go with the console when I sell it. Wario Land Shake It. Mario Kart Wii. Super Paper Mario. I just sold the sealed copies of this in Nintendo Selects Edition for 45 bucks. That used one's probably only going to be about 15 bucks. Sonic Unleashed. Mario Party 8. And all of these are complete. I can feel that they're heavy enough to have the manual. Mario Strikers Charged. Boom Blocks, and Animal Crossing City Folk. So pretty decent Wii games there. Obviously not the most valuable Wii games you can find, but pretty good. Then we've got the Wii steering wheel, 2 nunchucks, one of them being off-brand, 2 Wiimotes, and the Wii, which is either a little dirty or just kind of scuffed up. It is the GameCube compatible version. And power and AV cables. Then we've got the 360. I opened this up. It's got the 250 gigabyte hard drive and an AV cable. Again, no power cord. So he wasn't 100% sure if it works, but I'm gonna guess it works. He just couldn't find the power cord. Next up, Game Boy Advance. Screen actually looks pretty good. Some light scratching. It is, however, missing the battery cover. So that's gonna drop the value a little bit. Not too much. I think we should be able to get about 65 bucks, 70 bucks before fees and shipping. And then we've got Pokemon Emerald. So the condition of the cartridge compared to the ones on, or a lot of the ones on eBay, this looks pretty good. It does have a scratch down the back, a vertical scratch right here. But otherwise it's in good shape. There is one issue with this. So I opened it up to take pictures of the board for eBay. And I wasn't aware of this. He said that he put a new battery in, and he did, but he didn't solder it in. It's just kind of in there, and it's not moving or anything, but it's not in there like it should be. It's not soldered in. It's kind of like, I guess, held in place by two pieces of metal. And it does save. It does have like a 50-hour file on it. So might drop the value a little bit down to one that has like a dead battery, but you know, it doesn't affect the way it plays or anything. So I did disclose that in my eBay listing, but since it has such a good label, I did price it a little bit higher, but we'll see how that goes. That was kind of disappointing when I opened it. And I'm not gonna mess with it and like solder the battery in because it's just not worth it to me. Then we've got our PS3, our fat PS3 backwards compatible. It is missing like the silver or black plate here. So that's kind of a bummer. But you can see down here, we've got our 4 USB ports. We've got almost like a like new controller. This thing looks really good. The console is a little dusty and dirty, but not too bad. And serial number right here, hopefully you can see it's at CECHA01. So backwards compatible there. And then a PS2, a fat PS2. So we've got 3 controllers, 2 AV cables, which I'm happy about because it's always nice to get extras, a power cord, and the fat PS2. So that's everything we got for 440 bucks. Again, I'm hoping, it probably won't happen exactly like this, but I'm hoping the backwards compatible PS3 and the Emerald can make up the majority of our buy cost. I think I listed this for like 185 bucks. It's actually crazy how much this version of Pokemon is worth by itself. And then this, I'll probably list for like 250 or so because it's missing this plate, and see if we can get it to sell for that. So after fees and shipping, we wouldn't be exactly to our buy cost of 440. So we might have to make up a little bit more of that with like this Game Boy Advance. So let's just assume we've got the Game Boy Advance, Emerald, and the PS3 making up our buy cost. We should be able to profit at least 200 bucks off this lot because these games are probably going to be worth about 150 if I had to guess, and then all the consoles. So pretty good buy, I feel like. A lot of this I think should sell fairly quickly once I can get it tested. Obviously that's gonna take me a little bit of time. The stuff is not too dirty, so I'm not gonna have to spend a ton of time doing that. All right, that's everything we got. Pretty happy with the buy. Cool to get Emerald. It's always cool when you buy a lot like this to get like a really valuable game or item that can make up the majority of your buy cost back. Now, obviously this is only gonna make like 150 of our 440 back, but that's still, you know, a big chunk of it. So always be on the lookout for lots that, even if you're not gonna make a huge profit, say you buy 5 items and they're gonna sell really quick and easily, and you're only gonna make 200 bucks and you spent, you know, 400, I would call that an easy win because shipping out 5 items, getting them listed and sold quick, that's super easy. Obviously, if you're gonna need to sell like 25 or 50 items to make the 200, it's not really worth it, but it's all about like time management and how many things you need to sell to get your money back, if that makes sense. So bigger dollar things are always better than a bunch of small ones. I mean, it seems obvious, but it's definitely something that I've learned as I've sold on eBay. When I started, I was selling a lot of lower dollar items. And over the last, I don't know, 6 months or so, I think my average sales price now is about 50 bucks. So I think this video went a little longer than I wanted to. But again, as usual, I appreciate everybody that's watching and subscribing. And I will see everybody on the next video.